first off, promoter-wise, we'll talk about the athletic side of the competition later. Congratulations on what was a truly fantastic event on Saturday night, a huge success. Tell me about how you're feeling about it a few days removed.
I'm feeling super happy about it. I trained very hard. Um, I know that I never, or I always knew that the Doctor Mike fight was going to be tough for me. Um, and I there are tools in my tool belt. I think that I could have whipped out during that fight, but I think the heat of the moment definitely got to me, and I didn't utilize all my tools. But I'm ready to do it next time for sure.
Because you had said beforehand you weren't sure if you were going to box again, but now the bug seems to have caught you. You get down to the right weight class, you fight someone with the required amount of experience, as opposed to someone who's been around amateur gyms for as long as Mike has. You want to do it again?
Yeah, yeah. I think it'd be fun to do it again. I learned a lot from my loss. Um, I think I'll be super prepared for the next fight. So yeah, I'm keen to do it again, as long as my fans are interested in watching me do it again. Yeah.
After having been in there now and having, known that the weight classes are there for a reason, and knowing how you last over the rounds, do you look at other guys, smaller guys like an Alex Wasabi or someone like that and go, yeah, I fancy it with them next time?
Yeah, I mean, certainly. I think everyone in their sort of ideal weight class is matched up as like cleanly as possible. I think that's the fairest way to go. And yeah, I mean, I would definitely take on someone more my height and weight. Alex would be a great opponent. We've messed around before in the ring, and yeah, I mean, anyone in the right weight class, I'm down to fight.
Would you rather do it as part of someone else's promotion, or did you like the promoting aspect yourself and Anissa?
Oh yeah, I mean, Anissa and I love the promoting aspect. It was just because we had control over all the fighters that we were brought on the card, and that made it a lot more fun because we can keep it to people that we vibe with a little bit
Mhm.
more, and it just makes for a different energy. And I think having a different energy in a boxing event is good for everyone. It just makes it. I think it makes the space bigger, and introduces a whole new category of people to boxing.
I don't mean to ask you to speak for her, but athletically speaking, was Anissa watching the Minx fight and going, I would definitely beat both of these girls.
Yeah, I think she was thinking that for sure. I mean, she thinks that about most, I think, amateur boxers that she sees fight. She puts in a lot of work. It's really a shame that she got that she played contact sports growing up, because she's got way too much head trauma to even spar at this point.
Were you impressed at the showing those two girls had? Though obviously I'm biased, right? Coming from Ireland, I was of course backing Minx all the way. All week I was talking about how she's going to knock her out in the first round, all this stuff. But those two really did put on a great show. I know it was the first time in the US or the UK that we'd had women influencer boxers, and they really put it all on the line there.
Yeah, I'm so proud of both of them because they both grinded hard. Haley, I think, was a bit disappointed that it was called off so soon, because she was fired up. She wanted to keep going, and I think if we get more influencer or female influencer boxers on cards, I think we're going to see that same level of energy and intensity from women in the space, because they're hungry. I mean, I think we've seen just as many women come forward wanting to box as we have men. So
Mhm.
that's I don't know. I'm super excited for it. I think they both did a great job.
No, they were both fantastic, and in professional boxing, after a fight, they go to the media and they hand out the scorecards, whether it was a knockout or whether it went to a decision. They'll give you the scorecards regardless. I would love to have seen the scorecards from that fight had they decided to continue it.
Mm, interesting. Yeah, I hadn't heard of that. Yeah, that would be cool.
So in terms of the event itself, huge success, big pay-per-view success. The number that was released to the media on Sunday was in the region of 100,000. Has that been counted a bit more? I know that the pay-per-view business, they don't just, it's not like a YouTube stream where they just give you the numbers right after. It kind of, it drips over a couple of weeks, but that's kind of the way it's trending. I heard 100, then I heard 130 later in the week, but it's something above 100,000.
It's just a little bit above 100,000. I think our situation is a bit different than other pay-per-view situations since we're only streaming on Moment House.
Mm.
Our numbers are pretty clear. I don't think they're going to get there. I don't think there are any other numbers that are going to be coming in past that. So 100,000 is pretty much the number.
Who who particularly impressed you on the card?
Oh man, let me think. Probably Alex Ernst and Ryan McGee.
Mm,
So also Hundar and AB. I think Hundar and
yeah,
AB were impressive just because they aren't the biggest names on the card, and they knew that going in. So they both put in a lot of time and energy to get really good at you know uh, the technical aspects of boxing, and I think we saw that in their fight. But Alex Ernst and Ryan McGee, they hardly took any direction from us. They said, we're just going to do it. They both went and found their own gyms and trained, and we hardly had any idea what either of them were going to bring. But when they brought the war, we were like so stoked for it. I was just like, holy shit, like this is awesome. Especially after the dad fight, because the dad fight,
yes.
I was worried. I was pissing myself in the locker room. I was like, oh no, what have we done? Is every fight going to end in the first 20 seconds? Um,
Mm.
I didn't want that to happen.
Well, that's one of the critiques I think I would have if I were to offer a constructive criticism was that before the event, I heard you on a few podcasts saying you stayed in touch closely with people and their coaches, right? And you knew
Uh-huh.
the general standards. That being said, we did have 7 stoppages out of 9 fights, which would indicate that perhaps maybe the reports you were getting or something weren't fully accurate. In that a lot of people, like Dad, had a pretty quick stoppage. We had a couple, like the one with the head guards was completely lopsided, and a couple of fights maybe. I don't know if that's like it's something you would look at going forward is something like that. And I suppose you can't really predict it when everyone's making their debut.
Yeah, it's very hard because we're like our group of fighters aren't particularly athletic. Like,
Mm.
they're not typical influencer boxers, a lot of gamers, a lot of nerds. So it's hard. We can ask some people like, hey, have you started sparring yet? And they could tell us yes, but we don't really know exactly what that means. Um, you know, uh, some people can be sparring very lightly and almost just like, not not increasing the level of intensity. And I think that's something that uh, that we probably could have done better, is just making sure that people are getting like increasing forms of intensity leading up to the event, because you know a fight is a fight, and I think it's I mean, I experienced a bit of that myself in fighting Dr.
Yeah.
Mike. Like, his intensity was, I think, a lot higher than mine going into the fight, and that sort of took me by surprise. And I think it was the same case for Matt Watson and Dad, right? Like, you
Yeah.
can say Matt Watson wasn't prepared, but you know his sparring partners or whatever weren't coming at him like Dad was. So it's
Yeah.
hard to prepare them for that specific of an encounter.
I want to get this out of the way just and give you a chance to answer. But the on a scale of 1 to 10, one being like me and I have no interest at all, or 10 being how you felt on Saturday night going out, how interested were you in boxing when you did the documentary last year?
Like, when I started documenting the boxing process.
No, but like, when you did the documentary where you were sparring out in the woods,
Oh,
and
with
like,
Sam.
yeah,
um, uh, yeah, probably a 0.
right.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was that was just like an activity that was suggested to you, not something you were like seriously considering.
No, no, not at all. I mean, Sam messaged me. He was like, yeah, we could do like go-kart racing or boxing, or he had a couple recommendations, and boxing under the overpass was like the easiest thing to do.
Will you try to get in touch with Ricegum again and do something with him?
Probably not. He doesn't. I think he's got his own money making hustles that he's doing. So as long as he's got a bag, I don't think he's interested in doing anything for the fun of it or whatever else.
The venue was great. The Youngling Center. Someone said, I'm not sure how true this is, that they'd never sold it out before. That it had all, because it's like a college campus venue, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It was great. I loved hanging out on the little beach on campus right before. That was fun. Considering we have some crap weather over here, it was nice to get to go over there. But will
That's
you
great.
stick around in Florida when you do the next one?
I think I'd like to. I think Florida's an awesome state. I think they're very friendly and super keen to have events there. So I don't see why not.
Will you go back to doing your YouTube channel, and will you make more kind of documentaries like you did with Sam with Dax Flame now that you've got some more time on your hands?
Totally. We gotta finish up this boxing documentary and give everyone the sort of the scoop, the behind the scenes of what the journey was like for me and a few of the other fighters. But
Do you have plans for like, do you have a subject in mind for who your next kind of one-to-one documentary would be?
no, not right now. It's tough. I haven't had any time to like do any research or figure out what people would want to see. But yeah, I'll probably spend time figuring that out over the next couple of months.
Thank you so much for your time. I just have one more is with regards to the promotional side. Obviously, that's, I don't know, a lot of people would say more stressful, right, than the actual like the training part if you're just an athlete competing on a card. Did you obviously Anissa kind of took the reins a lot on that stuff, and she was very hands-on, and it worked out great. But do you like the promotional side of things? Do you want to pursue that a little bit more? Like maybe would you do a creator clash on which you're not a fighter?
Yeah, I think we do that. Anise is definitely better at me at organizing things and planning events, so that's definitely more her skill set. But I do like helping out, and I like you know being involved in the process of boxing. I think one of my favorite things to do for this last promotion was going around and like meeting with the fighters and sparring with them and recording stuff with them and making sure that they're like taken care of kind of, and having more time to do that stuff and even like recording promotional packages. I think that would be awesome. So we can kind of do anything. I'm keen for it all.
By the way, I said it was a great success, and people are happy with that number. Was that the number you guys were looking for in terms of the pay-per-view buys and the ticket sales and stuff?
To be honest, I wanted to surpass the TikToker versus YouTuber
Yeah,
pay-per-view numbers, which was like 135,000.
right.
So we didn't quite get there, but I'm still happy with the number that we got. That's a lot of money for charity.
Is that bollocks? I don't want to say any specific names because I know you don't want to talk about it. But no one was banned from the event. Is that right?
No, Sam was banned
Oh,
for
he
sure.
was banned. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. He
I don't want to get into it. Like I didn't mean to like.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, it's just one of those things. Like, I just want to make it clear that like I mean, he's a super difficult guy. He likes to around at events and stuff. And it was, I was main event. The last thing I wanted was something to go wrong. And,
Mhm.
you know, we refunded him his money. But that was my decision. He's just been super difficult since I got done filming the documentary with him. So I couldn't risk this event, getting getting with it anyway.
I'm sorry for even bringing it up. I know you would rather not talk about it. So let's end on a positive note, which is congratulations, a huge success of an event. The charities are going to make a lot of money. I believe millions, right, for the charities.
Yeah, it's gonna be I think at least 1 million or around 1 million.
Congratulations, guys. I look forward to talking to you all again very soon.
Awesome. Thank you, Donna.